Okay, guys, this is Norgar, and we're going to start a new series on how to set up a car in iRacing. And this is going to be the first video of that series. This is going to be number one, very short and to the point. But we're going to go over some real basics on what you should do. So you've been a member of iRacing for a while, and you've been running fixed series, but now you want to start tinkering with your car. You don't like the way that they drive. You'd like to adjust it more to your driving style. So we're going to go over some of the very simplistic basics on how to get started on to do that on iRacing. So the first thing we're going to do before we even head out to the track is we're going to go over some simple terminology. And we're going to keep it very simple. So here we go. All right, so when setting up a vehicle for, and we're going to concentrate on oval tracks, okay, for this series. We'll do road way later on, but for right now, we're going to concentrate on oval tracks. So let's go over what we got down here. The first thing you need to do is make sure you calibrate your wheel with any software or profiler that you have for your wheel. Now, if you're using like a Momo, which is what I'm using, if you go to the Logitech website, there's a Logitech profiler. You download that profiler, and then you have your wheel plugged in, and you need to calibrate it with the calibration tools that they have there. Some of the other wheels, like the GTs and stuff, have different programs and stuff, and actually may even come with discs. So you want to make sure that those are set up properly and adjusted to your preference of driving style. The next thing is you want to make sure your force feedback and dampening settings are where you want them. That goes along with the software stuff that we just spoke about earlier. But you're going to have to play with those settings within the profiler and iRacing again to find them where exactly you like to have them. Now, we're going to just this is one of the most important steps before you get started in any racing, whether you're racing fixed or starting to set stuff up. But I just want to make you guys aware that if these settings are not properly calibrated and you haven't played with them enough, you could be losing a lot of time out on the track out there because of these settings. So these are definitely stuff you want to look at, but these are things that on the car setup in iRacing, they don't spend a lot of time, effort, and energy on telling you how to do it. But this is a big issue of it. Head to the iRacing forums, and if you have any questions on how to set up for your particular wheel, head over to there, and they will definitely be some posts up there about that. So anyway, let's get to it and to the setup of the actual car. Before we start setting up a car, you need to know a few simple terms, which we have written down here on my little wall here. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna keep this video really simple. We're gonna go over tight, loose, free, and steering ratio, and that's all we're gonna cover right here today. But let's get right into it. Tight. Which is also referred to as understeer or push. And what that means is when the front wheels do not go where steered and the car pushes up the track, that is where you get the term. That is where you get the term push. And their example there is you turn your wheel all the way to the left, but you hit the outside wall. Your car is too tight. So that's what tight means. Loose or oversteer means when the rear wheels do not follow the track line of the front wheels and move to the outside of the track. Meaning, or example, your back end kicks out and you spin. Your car is too loose. So if you feel the back end start going out and the back end starts going up the track, you always hear in NASCAR races and stuff, he's loose, he's loose, he's loose. Well, that's what it means. Those two terms right there are the biggest two terms that you are going to hear when setting up a car. And these are the terms that you need to realize and recognize what they mean. So when your car does it, you know exactly what it's doing and why it's doing it. And that will give you piece number one of the puzzle on how to fix it, which we'll get into in later videos. The term free or neutral is pretty much what you think it means. It's neither tight or loose. If you hear drivers say, how are you in the middle of the turn? You'll hear a driver say, I'm free in the turn, but I'm tight off. So it means he's neither tight nor loose in the middle of the turn. And then he says, well, then I'm tight off. Tight off. That means coming off the edge of the turn, the way his wheel is turned, he is tight. So trying to send his crew chief information there, but you're going to use this for setting up your vehicle. You want to try to get, ideally, when you're setting up a vehicle, you want to try to get your car to be free or neutral in the middle of the turns. And leaning towards one of the side between either tight or loose, leaning toward one side or another, depending on what your driving style is. Some guys like to drive a loose race car. Some guys like to drive a tight race car. But again, realizing and recognizing, knowing what tight and loose means will help you through your setup. What you're going to be setting up the car with for your iRacing career. So anyway, the last term we're going to go over, and this is the one thing we're going to hit inside the game, and it's steering ratio. Now, this is the most basic adjustment you can make. You can even make these adjustments in a fixed race. Now, when you make these adjustments, you're not going to get huge swings either to the tight or loose side. It's going to make it tight or loose just a little bit. So if you're looking for a huge swing, this isn't going to be your fix. However, this is where I recommend somebody who's never set up a car before to start. And the steering ratio is the amount of degrees your steering wheel can be turned. Example, lower number, less degrees, less turning, making the car tighter. Higher number, more degrees, more turning, making the car looser. And those two examples underneath that definition there, again, you're not going to make huge amounts of strides on tightening up your car or making it loose by changing the steering ratio, but it is an adjustment you can make that does help. So we're going to go over tight, loose, and free right now real fast. And we're going to head on into the game right now. Now, when you get into iRacing and you go to a testing session, and here we are, we're gonna test the Chevy Impala A Series car here at Bristol, and we're gonna show you. So now I get into this room and you see it says failed tech, and you're like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? Okay, when you in your iRacing career, and this is the best advice I can give you when you're first starting off, what you would want to do is go over here on the right hand side of your screen and go to Garage. Click on iRacing Setups. Save current setup, no, because it fails. Click on iRacing Setups, and then in the list, find whatever track you're racing at and load the fixed setup. iRacing took a lot of time to make fixed setups and fixed whole series. So there is a setup already there for the track you're at. So load the fixed. We're going to load the fixed at Bristol. Hit the open. Now it is passed. Now you're going to hit done. So now you're going to wait for the tech inspection to go through, and you're going to be ready to go racing here right now. So now we're going to run, and here's what I suggest you do. You run a couple laps, and we're going to run one lap right now in the fixed setup here at Bristol Speedway. And we're going to see what the fixed setup likes, and we're going to try to determine how we would like the steering on our car fixed. So here we go down in the backstretch at Bristol. And coming out of turn number 3. Down into turn 1. So my car's a little loose coming off the turn there. You saw me get a little squirrely right there. All right, and across the start-finish line. So there is one lap in the fixed setup. And from what I've determined from that lap is I want to make my car super loose. I want to make it super loose. So we're going to go to the garage setup. We're going to go to the garage setup, and we're going to head to chassis. And this is where you're going to find your steering ratio. We're going to start with this box right here, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to keep it very simple today. We're only going to do steering ratio in this video. So the default from the fixed setup steering ratio is 12:1. So I want to loosen up my race car a little bit. I want to make it super loose as a goose going around Bristol. And so we're gonna crank that sucker up all the way as high as it'll go, and it'll go up to 16. So you crank it up to 16, so that means I can turn my wheel, I guess 4 more degrees, and I think that's what they're trying to say. We're gonna read the definition. The steering ratio definition by Iracing states: degrees of steering wheel rotation to give 1 degree of front wheel steer angle. Higher ratio equals slower response, less twitchy, harder to catch slides with counter steering. So the higher ratio, slower response, but it slows your response time down, but you have a bigger arc that you're turning your wheel. And what that also means is if you can turn your wheel more, you're using up more of the tire surface. And what that does is say you're skidding around a turn, and you're using up more of the tire, a more percentage of the tire's surface by skidding more. When it's cranked down, and we're gonna do both of them. When it's cranked down to 8, you're using less of the tire surface. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you mess with this. So we're gonna go up to 16:1 right there, and we're gonna go run a lap. Right now, and this should make the car super, super loose. Well, not super loose, but it'll make it looser than it was. But here's the trade-off. It may make it turn better, but it might make it slower. Whereas if you go, it might make it faster, but it'll wear on your tires quicker. That's what I meant to say. See, now it really wants to spin out. There it even wants to, and I'm gonna crash. So, all right. So now we're gonna go back and go back to the garage, go back to chassis, and go back to the steering ratio. And we're going to crank it down to 8. We're going to go to the extremes. Now, when you're making adjustments, and I'm going to say this in every video, when you're making adjustments on your car, make them in small increments, because if you have something that's halfway decent and only do one at a time, and you change 2 or 3 things and you change them huge amounts of increments, next thing you know, you've changed 8 things and you don't remember what you changed. Now this should make the car a little bit on the tighter side. I shouldn't want to spin as much. And see, I'm definitely tighter because I couldn't even get around that turn. So it definitely tightened the car up. We'll try one more lap here at steering ratio 8. But the default, by default there, the 12, at least for me, is the most perfect fit for this particular track. And every track is going to be different. You're going to have a different steering ratio at most tracks. They're not all going to be the same. But again, it depends on your driving style and what kind of race car you like. My car is pushing up the track. It's pushing. Go down into the turn, and I'm turning, and yeah, pushing just a little bit. There, it wants to push up a little bit. You really got to get on the brake to keep it from going up into the wall. So that is that's steering ratio 8. Now, if we go back to the replay real quick, we're going to show the examples of loose and tight and what they look like. And then we're going to wrap this video up for this time. So we're going to fall back a couple of laps right here, driving the Norgar TV car. All right, so there. This is my loose lap. This will be lap number 3. Let's head down to TV 1 here. Now watch see the back end, how it skidded out there. Now right there, see the back end gave up. The back end started going toward the outside of the wall. That is loose. Now let's show you tight. This will be tight. And what you're going to see with tight is you're going to see the wheels turning, but the car not turning. And you're going to see this car creep up the track, not on this lap, but the next one. Right there, almost against the wall. And right here, it's not really pushing. I prefer a tighter race car. Let's try this. All right. Yeah. It's right here. Right here is where it gets tight. Okay, lap number 4. You're going to see me come out at turn number 4, and it's just going to go up into the wall. I'm turning the wheel, but it's not moving. We'll do it in slow-mo. I'm turning the wheel, but the car is just not reacting. That's tight right there. And that causes problems. Too tight causes problems, and too loose causes problems. So that's tight, that's loose, that's steering ratio. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll be back soon to do more. We're going to go through each and every part of the iRacing setup sheet, which is found underneath the garage. You go to chassis here, but this week we worked on steering ratio. So that's that for this time, and we will see you soon. And next time we will be going over ballast, nose weight, cross weight, front brake bias, and tape configuration. We're just going to take it box by box, but the next video we'll go over the rest of the articles included along with the steering ratio. So that's going to be it for this time. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and share. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.